let's see. As the lights come up, we see that we are now in the guest bedroom of Ray and Tony's cottage in Kent. The furniture laid out for the rehearsal in the previous scene provides a setting: a single bed, a bedside table and lamp, a doorway, and a small desk with an upright chair. Brian, clad in striped pajamas, is sitting up in a bed writing in his notebook. His various drafts of Dark Heritage are strewn all over the desk next to his typewriter. As the music fades, a cock crows and Tony comes into the room bearing Brian's early morning tea on a tray. He's wearing a peacock blue and scarlet sarong and is naked from the waist up.
Oh my.
Sassy. It's all right, dear. It's only me and not Dorothy Lamour, as you thought. My sister sends me these things from Malaya. They're wonderful to sleep in, and you could kick your legs about all night long if you feel like it without strangling yourself. Now, sweet dreams.
No, I'm afraid I couldn't sleep. Flump. Oh, I wish I'd never tried to write this blasted play in the first place. Ray set on a new draft of Act 3, and for all his suggestions, I haven't the foggiest where to begin.
In which case, stop worrying and drink your tea. I'm your fairy godmother. Oh dear. And all I have to do is wave my magic wand, which alas, until this morning, I was unable to locate owing to the cold weather.
This character's gay, by the way. I hope you noticed. Yeah, it's the
Oh yeah. That is, it's not subtext. It's text.
I know writers who use subtext.
And they're all cowards.
And they're total cowards. Sorry.
If this sends you off into a frenzy of vomiting, I'll put it out.
I didn't even know you were here.
I came down last night on the late train. I love my weekends in the country, and anyway, I thought I should be on hand in case Herr Director takes it into his head to rewrite the entire play.
Oh dear.
Don't tell me. I bet he never drew breath all the way down in the car, coming up with 15 different endings, all ghastly. And now the whole of Act 3 looks like a dog's dinner.
It does rather.
Bark, bark. And I suppose he played out every scene and tore himself to shreds.
I think I was the one who tore into shreds.
You poor dear. This happens with every new play he directs. Don't think I'm being disloyal to the infant Reinhardt. I adore him and admire him more than anybody in the world, but I do know his failings. As principal one is he can't let well alone. What's important, of course, is whether the end of the play is right as it is, or whether it should be altered. So come on then, cards on the table, shoulders to the wheel, shoulders to the wheel, wigs on the green. What do you think yourself, really and honestly?
I don't know. I feel muddled. Assuming that I can't have the crash because apparently it's stolen from a novel I've never read, what other sorts of suicide are there? She can't jump under the blue train. Tolstoy's already bagged that one.
She can't shoot herself off stage.
Why not? Oh, yes, Miss Tanqueray.
Oh, and Pinero pinched that from Chekhov.
Who filched it from Ibsen? Sleeping tablets would take too long, and then we'd have to stick in a time lapse.
It's a shame, really, there are no ramparts to fall from, and somehow I can't see Lorraine Barry impaling herself on a samurai sword, much as we'd all love her to. But could I make one small, insignificant suggestion?
Of course. I'd be very grateful.
Let her live.
What?
Allow the audience, bear with me, allow the audience to think that she really is going to do herself in. Then have her pull herself together, and at the end, after the cocktail scene, get all the others out onto the terrace and let the curtain fall on her, telephoning Mortimer quietly and bravely with a smile on her lips and tears rolling down her cheeks. It's not so obviously dramatic as the way you've written it, but I think it could be more real. Cigarette?
It'd mean a pretty substantial rewrite, but yes. Actually, I can see it working quite well.
Oh, think it over quietly and don't allow yourself to be bullied. More tea?
Yes, thanks.
And if I were you, I wouldn't say a word about it to the maestro until you've got it down on paper.
No, right. I think perhaps I'll try and type up the key points right now.
Why not?
What happens if Lorraine still doesn't like it?
Then I have a very neat suggestion as to what she can do with it.
He can't help giggling, and Tony lobs a pillow at Brian, it's a pillow fight, who chucks it back at him just as Ray appears in the doorway. He's wearing a dressing gown and has the Sunday paper under his arm. He's rattled by the sight of the other two.
So this is where the party is. Are you ever
You
coming down?
betcha.
Are you ever coming down? Or are you just going to let Mrs. Hartley's breakfast congeal on the plate?
It's no need to sound quite so pious. A quarter of an hour ago, you were stretched out like a fish on a slab.
I'm awfully sorry, Ray. We've been discussing the play.
Have you?
Yes, and Brian solved all the problems.
I don't know about that.
Then you better come down and tell me all about it.
Would you mind terribly if I stayed up here for a little bit, Ray? I'm not really hungry. And I would love to make some notes while everything's fresh in my mind.
If you must. What's the big idea then?
I hope you'll like it. It's better than the old version at any rate. Do you know, I'm almost embarrassed to think about how melodramatic it was.
Yes, it certainly needed a complete rethink. So? I'm waiting.
Well,
I thought you were the one who wanted breakfast. Come on, let's leave the boy Wonder to work his alchemy in peace.
How long will it take you to cobble together?
I don't know. Probably not more than a day or two.
Good God, as long as that. Well, you better stay here until it's finished. We've got to go back to town tonight.
Have we? Why?
Drinks party at Binky's.
Oh, God help us.
But you can sit tight. Mrs. Hartley will be here to wait on you hand and foot.
That's very kind.
And she'll report back to the Commandant if she catches you slacking.
I'm afraid I'm serious. Rehearsals are going to be scuppered if I don't have the new draft within 48 hours. There are a number of reputations riding on this play, Brian. Yours included. We'll be downstairs.
Have you finished with the tea?
Yes. I can't tell you how grateful I am, Tony. I wonder if I could talk the scene through with you later, if you could spare the time.
Oh, I can give you all the time in the world, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's all right. I suppose my reward will just have to be in heaven.
Tony!
His master's voice.
Okay, that's the end of Act 1. He saunters out, closing the door behind him. Brian is utterly dejected. He slumps down in front of the typewriter and distractedly tidies up his papers. Then he looks at his watch. Music creeps in. The lights slowly fade apart from the warm summer sun, which floods in through the windows onto the desk. Brian starts to type. As his writing picks up momentum, the music swells, and suddenly he's forgotten all about Ray and Tony is completely absorbed. He taps away frantically, and we have a blackout.